Hi everybody, it is Julie. Welcome back to Pages and Pens. Today I am here with my Book Expo and BookCon haul. Let's jump right into it. This year I was lucky enough to get into Book Expo as a media/press badge, and I am overwhelmed and overjoyed with the amount of books that I came back with. It was an experience. I am editing my vlog. I have so much vlog footage, so the vlog will be up after my haul. I came away with things that I am genuinely excited for. I came away with things that I had been looking for prior. I sat with Amber and we went over like everybody that was there, everybody that's signing, all the arcs that we thought were going to be dropping, what we were interested in. And for the most part, I got everything that I was interested in and a couple more that I found while I was there that people were hyping up for me. I have not counted these yet. I think it's around 50 if you include graphic novels. I have them in front of me organized by release date, so that's just how I'm going to go over them. And I'll give you a synopsis of them as I know them to be. And if I don't know it, I'll read you off the back. So this is going to be a long one. Grab a drink, grab a snack. Let's figure out what I got at BookCon and BEA. I did get a couple books that after looking at it a little bit closer, I went, I don't think this is for me, and I gave them away to other people that I had met there, or I had brought a whole bunch of like arcs and graphic novel samplers and first chapters to the meetup to give away to people who weren't at BEA. So I'm going to start with things that are already released, because I do have a couple finished copies here that I just want to go over, because they don't have like a TBR arc date, so let's go over those first. First up, Jonathan Janz wrote The Dark Game. This is one that I was super interested in, and also, forgive me, my voice is like coming and going. I have like BookCon, BEA, laryngitis. I think it was just so loud in there, and there was so much talking, and I've lost my voice. It comes and goes, so excuse that. But this is a thriller. You'll see a thread throughout my haul. I have a lot of thrillers. A lot of them are like psychological thrillers. I don't do thrillers often. I don't know what I'm going to do. I think I might do like a thriller series, like me reacting to how scared am I about these. This one I had to have, because this one is about a best-selling author, like this uber amazing author who's kind of recluse, but he invites 10 beginning writers to come and do like a workshop for the summer at his place, and basically sets it up as like a writer Hunger Games. Like, there's a dark twisted game afoot, and it's not the writing workshop they thought they were going to get for the summer, and now we've got to figure out what's going on. And I'm here for like psychological thrillers with like writers. The premise, if I'm going to read a thriller, sounded really good to me. And this already came out. I'm not exactly sure when, but I did meet the author and get it signed. A lot of these are actually signed because I met the authors. So this one sounds terrifying, but also really interesting. We're going to see what I do with my thrillers, because I have a lot, and I'm going to have to do some kind of series with them. Then I have The Brilliant Death by Amy Rose Cappetta, which is an arc that came out in October of last year. Chelsea actually brought this for me. I just wanted to include it because I did technically get it at BEA and BookCon, but this is one that she was getting rid of that I was interested in that I still haven't read, so I asked her to bring that for me. And then I have Love from A to Z by S.K. Ali. I did grab a ticket for one of her signings, and I didn't own this yet, even though I have read the arc. So if you want to know my thoughts, I have a review up on Goodreads. I really enjoyed this book. It is so well done, so cute. This one follows Adam and Zainab and their experiences as Muslims. So cute, so precious, and also like so eye-opening and angering and like frustrating, but also just really sweet. And I was telling S.K. Ali that I really wished, when I was reading Adam and his sister's like relationship, I was like, I kind of wish I had like an older brother, but I'm like the oldest of 4 girls. I was like, but the sibling relationships in this was really well done, and I just loved it. So I was able to meet her and get this, stuff is falling out, and get this signed, which is just, I loved it. I loved it. It was really cool meeting her, and I have that now. They were giving out Buffy and a little sampler of Angel, so I do have the Buffy graphic novel, which will come in handy at some point during a readathon, but I was not going to pass up Buffy and Angel. You know I'm a fan, so I picked those up. Then in a bag that they were giving out of other graphic novels, they included a finished copy of Moonstruck, and this is by McCubbin, Quark, and Coles. Let's see, this one is by Jordi Belliar, Dan Mora, and Raul Angelou. Very nice. I have already read this, but I read it on Hoopla, so I didn't have a finished copy. I am excited to have a finished copy of this. It is a really, really cute, diverse female-female romance with like witchy vibes. Then we got a sci-fi original series, Deadly Class. This one's by Rick Remender, Wes Craig, and Lee Loughridge. I'm saying all of that wrong, I am certain. I don't know anything about this, but it's a finished one that also came in like the box with this. Like it just, 'twas all together, I believe, I think. So yeah, I picked that one up because I'm always here for a graphic novel. Similarly, they had at this booth, I cannot even tell you, at Boom, I believe this is. I think this was a Boom. They had a finished hardback copy of The Labyrinth and The Dark Crystal. So when I went and I got Buffy and like the Magicians, which I think comes up later, I got a couple graphic novel samplers there, and I was like, I really, really want The Labyrinth and The Dark Crystal. And they're like, it's our one only copy. It's a display copy for the week. We can't give it to you, but like, give us your contact information. We'll make sure that you get it. It's The Labyrinth, guys. So at the end of BEA, they were like, just take the displays. Somebody had already taken The Labyrinth, so I grabbed The Dark Crystal. This is another Jim Henson's creation movie, and this one is by Adam Smith and Alexandria Huntington. I'm so here for this, so I'm going to be reaching out to them at some point soon to make sure that I can get The Labyrinth, because holy crap, it was so pretty. I did flip through it and it was amazing. Then we're gonna get into oh my gosh, all of my arcs. So everything else is not out yet. I'm going to start with June, and I have two for June. I have Rules Were Meant to Break, and this is by Natalie Williamson. This is a contemporary that was given to me at a HarperCollins event. I don't know a ton about it. Looks like this one is Amber lives by strict rules to survive a mother's love life. She always keeps her eyes on the horizon, never gets close to anybody connected to mom's boyfriends. Then they move in with one of the boyfriends. I think she starts to form a friendship with the guy's son, and then also with the guy. She gets really attached to them as like a family unit, but like her mom never stays with guys very long. We're going to see how that one works out for her. But this one was given to me at Blogbound. It's a Swoon Reads title, and this one comes out in June. And then I also got The Gone Dead by Chanel Benz. This is one that was kind of iffy. I wasn't sure if I was going to keep this or not, because it's not exactly my thing, but the premise sounded too good to not keep. So this is about a girl whose father dies. Her inheritance isn't much, a little money and a shack in the Mississippi Delta. The house once belonged to her father, a renowned black poet who died unexpectedly when Billy was 4. Though Billy was there when the accident happened, she has no memory of the day, and she hasn't been back since. 30 years later, she returns to her father's home, and which is unnervingly secluded. Her only neighbors are the McGees, a family whose history has been entangled with her since the days of slavery. She encounters the locals, hears strange rumors that she herself went missing on the day her father died. The mystery intensifies. She finds out that this forgotten piece of her past could put her in danger. There's like enough of a mystery intrigue here that like I could be into this. So we're going to see how this one goes. Like I said, I picked up an arc of Lev Grossman's adaptation of The Magicians, Alice's Stories. This is Lila Sturges and Pius Pak. So I don't know The Magicians as a book or as a TV series, but this follows one of the characters in there specifically. I don't know exactly what this is about or the character that it follows, but it seemed like a really cool art style, and I wanted to give it a go. So I picked that one up as well. Then I picked up The Chain, which comes out on the 9th of July. These are July books as well. This comes out on the 9th of July. I got like a weird arc that has like some quotes on it, and then like the cover is underneath. It's just like the chain with like a swing. This is one that I looked up and I went, I have no business reading this, but I really want to read it. There's a chain of kidnappings. In order for your kid to be freed and not killed, you have to go kidnap somebody and then convince that person's parents to then go kidnap somebody else. Once that's done, your child's released. So it's not just like, hey, I can be responsible for kidnapping a kid. You have to then convince somebody else to do it, or else all the kids die. I don't know. I don't know why that's so intriguing to me, but it is, because from like a psychological standpoint, you have to get to a point where like you're willing to go kidnap somebody else's kid to save your own, and then still convince somebody else to do it. Again, you guys know the psychology behind this kind of stuff is very fascinating to me. And then, because again, I don't know what I like to read anymore. Apparently, I'm super into thrillers. This is Lock Every Door by Riley Sager, who wrote Final Girls, which I did enjoy. I was able to meet Riley Sager. I can't even tell you how funny it was because multiple people in line, like, to go see him were like, I thought it was a girl. I'm like, he's right there. He can hear you. This follows a girl who is, like, the nighttime watch person of, like, an apartment complex. Like, she basically apartment sits in this old building. And the person before her either left or quit, and there's, like, mystery surrounding the apartments, the people that live in the apartments, what's going on in this building, and she's got to figure out what's happening. So it's like a apartment building mystery thriller. I'm not going to sleep for months, but I'm going to read this at some point. That was my last July arc. And then I have some August arcs. First up is Little Witches. This one is by Lee Dragoon. This is a witchy retelling of Little Women, and I am here for it. I have read Little Women. It's one of the few actual classics that I've read. So this one comes out just in August. It says August 27th. So this is a late August release. So we're going to see how they turn Little Women into witches. I'm here for it. Then we have super fun Sexy Times. This one is by Meredith McLaren. I've already read this because I read it for Smuttathon as soon as I got home, and I just could not stand getting in front of the camera or putting on makeup after getting back from BEA BookCon. So today's Tuesday. I've given myself a little time. And I did read this on Monday for Smuttathon. This one is 5 short stories that are all erotic. I cannot show you the art style because there are just peen and vagine on every page. Basically, this follows a whole bunch of, like, diverse and inclusive and LGBTQIA+ relationships. These are all superheroes that are finding love and smexy time, and it is very diverse, really interesting. My only complaint with this is that the snippets are so short that you don't understand the backstory of the villains and or superheroes. You do get, like, a little bio on them at the end of the story, but it would have made more sense maybe at the beginning of the story, because you go in blind, but you go in with an already established relationship and world. But otherwise, it was really good. I enjoyed it. So maybe if you want erotic short stories, I mean, it is graphic. One of the stories in this, I will just say, as, like, it's not a spoiler, one of them involves a woman who is part spider. So there's, like, jaw unhinging and weird eye structures, and it terrified me. So that was not my favorite story, even though I liked the storyline of it, like the actual plot of it, I really enjoyed, but, like, art-wise, it disturbed me. Guys, we have a chunker. This is a beast of a book. This is an August 6th release from Jimmy Patterson's publishing house. This is Swipe Right for Murder by Derek Millman. Hitchcock meets Adam Silvera and David Arnold in this whirlwind mistaken identity caper that has Aiden on the run from everything, including his own disturbing past. Razor-sharp humor, devastating emotional stakes, and a thrilling storyline with an explosive conclusion makes this the most compelling YA novel of 2019. Then we have No Ivy League. This one is by Hazel Newlevant, who has the most amazing, beautiful, like, silver pixie cut. They looked amazing. The hair color works for them. A 17-year-old Hazel who takes a summer job clearing ivy from the forest in Portland, Oregon. The only plan is to earn some extra cash towards a concert ticket, but homeschooled, affluent, and sheltered, Hazel finds herself working side by side with at-risk teens and leaves no room for comforting illusions of equality and understanding. Really, really cool to meet this author, and drew me a little face in my book. Then I have Hollow Kingdom. This is by Kira Jane Buxton. This is one that, like, first of all, the cover's amazing. It's got these, like, purple, green, black tones. This is about a post-apocalyptic zombie-like world, but from the POV of a crow who has a master whose eyeballs then, like, pop out, talks to a dog that the master has, and lives on Cheetos, which is, like, its favorite food. I'm here for Cheetos all day, every day. So I went up and I was like, listen, if you want to know, like, maybe go back to your publisher with some feedback. Super interested in the premise. The cover is gorgeous, but legitimately, like, hooked me when you were, like, living off of the world's best food, Cheetos. So if you want to know, like, all of your books should probably have Cheetos in the synopsis. It did its job. And she cracked up, and, like, gorgeous author. All the authors I met were beautiful. We're gonna see how this one does. And just the weirdest damn thing I think I'll ever read, but I'm here for it. And September is a freaking month. This is September. That's just September. That's like a thumbnail for, like, a haul. just September. Alright guys, I'm back. My camera overheated a little bit. I fixed my ponytail in the meantime, and we are on to September's arcs. First up is Dear Haiti. This is by Micaiah Molit and Maritza Molit. I think it's Molit. I was lucky enough to meet both of them. They are stunning. This is about a girl who has something go down at school. She ends up suspended and she goes to Haiti to serve out her suspension. I forget for how long, 2 months, the next 2 months. And she's doing community service there with her aunt, her tati, and starts to have a flirtation with the intern that's working with her aunt at her nonprofit over there. Gets to explore Haiti for the first time. Really, really excited to see this one and see what it's all about. This one comes out on September 3rd. If you are interested, stay tuned for thoughts. I have a feeling a lot of people that went to BEA and BookCon are going to be doing what Chelsea did and doing like an arc series where they try to like give you their thoughts on all the arcs that are coming out. Then I have Permanent Record, another September 3rd release. This one, I did not read Emergency Contact, but I was interested in this one. A lot of people were. This is one that was actually given out to me at the Blogbound Harper Collins event that I went to, and this one is about a guy who's working at like a bodega and things are really not going his way, and then a girl who comes in at like 5 a.m. and she happens to be this like pop star and kind of like social media icon turned pop star, and they form a relationship and start turning to each other when things get tough, which is going to lead to interesting things. I did not pick up Emergency Contact for any particular reason, so I'm interested to see what I think about this one. Unpregnant comes out on September 10th. This one is a lot in the lines of Girls on the Verge, or kind of like You, Me, the Birds and the Bees, which I talked about before. I read both of those back to back. This again is about a teenage girl who finds herself pregnant, does not want to be pregnant, and cannot get an abortion in the state that she lives in. So she's got to drive, I forget how many miles, to get an abortion in like New Mexico, I believe. Yeah, a 14-hour drive to the clinic, 3 hours for an appointment, 14-hour drive home. And the only thing that she can do is get a ride with like an ex-best friend, and she has to deal with the ex-boyfriend and a whole lot of drama and just what life throws at you when you're in this kind of a situation. I don't think it's going to be an easy read. I'm sure that they're going to put in some like little moments of humor and whatnot, but these have been really hard for me to read lately, and there's been a lot of them coming out. I think that they're important. I'm glad they're coming out, but they're really tough to read. Can't imagine being in that space. Then we have one that I was really excited about and was able to just like walk past the publisher and be like, hey, when are you going to do the arc drop for that? And they just went, here you go. So I'm really excited about this one. This one is All the Better Part of Me, and this comes out on just says September 2019. All the Better Part of Me is a new adult because I believe we're 25. Yes. We're 25, and Sinister Blackwell realizes that he is bisexual. He is working at a theater in London, flirting with one of the people that works there, but also kind of maybe in love with his gay best friend back home. This one sounded really interesting to me. This is by Molly Ringel, and this one, I'm sorry, I'm a shit human being. This one is by Jenny Hendricks and Ted Kaplan. And then this one is by Mary H.K. Choi, if I didn't say that. Then we have Slay, which is by Brittany Morris. This is one that was also given to me at that Harper event and wasn't on my radar because it is a gamer kind of a book. I think it's pitched as like The Hate U Give meets, help me, the gamers and the games. I don't know things, guys. Our main character is 17-year-old Kira. Kira goes to a mainly all-white school, but at night she is the creator and player in a role-playing online game, I believe, where it is based on Nubian characters. Teen in Kansas is murdered over a dispute in the Slay world. News of the game reaches mainstream media. Slay is labeled as racist, exclusionist, and a violent hub for thugs and criminals. Even worse, an anonymous troll infiltrates the game, threatening to sue Kira for anti-white discrimination. Driven to save the only world in which she can be herself, Kira must preserve the secret identity and harness what it means to be unapologetically black in a world intimidated by blackness. I am excited to read this. I'm a little bit less interested in the gaming aspect, but I feel like the main message of this is not going to reside within the game. I think the main message of this is going to be much more clear and evident for the world as a whole. So I'm very excited to get to this one. This one comes out on September 24th. We have more to the story. This one is by Hina Khan. Hina was signing with S.K. Ali. This one is a middle grade story about a girl who is an aspiring journalist. She works on her school's paper. Her father has to leave for 6 months to go work abroad, and she ends up trying to write this story to make him proud while he's away. She has 3 sisters, which is very reminiscent of me. I also have 3 sisters. I'm the oldest of 4 girls, and one of her sisters' health starts to decline during the course of this story. I feel like this is going to tug at all of my heartstrings because any kind of sibling relationship is just like, it gets me. And a story with 4 sisters is probably going to really, really get to me. This one comes out on September 3rd as well. Then we have the Tea Dragon Festival. This one is by Katie O'Neill. This is the follow-up to the Tree Dragon Society, which I really, really loved. September 17th, this one will be out. And I'm really excited to have an arc of this because I loved Tea Dragon Society. And this one actually is like the same size and matches the size of the Owl Crate one they sent out. I'm here for it. Lastly, in September, there have been, oh no, that's not last. I still have 4 more. Oh my god. Also in September then is the 10,000 Doors of January. This one comes out on my birthday on September 10th, and this one is a portal fantasy that has been linked to Every Hearted Doorway. Kind of gives me like Narnia vibes. This one is about a girl who goes to a sprawling mansion filled with peculiar treasures. January is a curiosity herself. As a ward of the wealthy Mr. Locke, she feels different from the artifacts that decorate the halls, carefully maintained, largely ignored, and utterly out of place. So it kind of gives me like Secret Garden vibes too. Then she finds a strange book that carries the scent of other worlds and tells the tale of secret doors, of love, adventure, and danger. Each page turn reveals impossible truths about the world, and January discovers a story increasingly intertwined with her own. Doors to explore, other worlds. It's just, this sounds amazing. It is giving me very much like Every Hearted Doorway, but also like that Secret Garden, kind of recluse, large sprawling mansion, girl with a book kind of vibes. I'm here for all of it. Then I have Tamsin Muir's Gideon the Ninth. This one is one that I already had. I have been sent an arc by the publisher. However, I went to Tamsin's signing. Unfortunately, at Tamsin's signing, she was late. I don't know what happened. She was not actually there at the ticketed time for the signing. So Jamie very, very kindly waited in line and got this signed for me. Thank you so much, Jamie. And so this one is signed and personalized to me. And the arc that I got with my ticket for the event, because they were giving out the arc and signing it with the ticketed event, I gave to Amber. So she got that signed for herself. Very, very excited about this one. Have not gotten to it yet. I actually wanted to start reading it while I was there, and I got like a page or 2 in and then just went like, reading's not going to happen for me while I'm here, and I put it down. I also want to say I think this one comes out on the 10th. My birthday is a good day. Then I got Rewind by Catherine Ryan Howard. This is gonna terrify me. This is a huge giant thriller arc, guys. This one is about a guy who is running an Airbnb, and he has a camera in the bathroom because he's a creepy, creepy perv. Picking this up while in New York at an Airbnb did not feel nice. Apparently, I do all of the thrillers now. Andrew's the manager of the cottages, watches his guests via a hidden camera in the rooms. One night, the unthinkable happens. A shadowy figure emerges on screen, kills her, destroys the camera. But who is the murderer? How did they know about the camera? And how will Andrew live with himself? Natalie wishes she stayed at home. As soon as she arrives at the wintry isolation of this cottage, there's something creepy about the manager. She wants to leave, but she can't. Not until she finds what she's looking for. It's Psycho meets Fatal Attraction in an explosive story about murder caught on camera. You've already missed the start. To get the full picture, you must rewind the tape and play it through to the end, no matter how shocking. The book in September that I am most excited for has got to be The 10th Girl by, oh my gosh, the most gorgeous author in the entire world, Sarah Faring. I was lucky enough to meet Sarah. I was in her line. It says, "Welcome to school." And then she signed it down here. She is an Argentinian author. She was gorgeous. Like, actually stunningly gorgeous. And so, so sweet. So she asked me what my best part of, like, BookCon was. I forgot what the question was, but I was just like, meeting authors and realizing, like, do you guys all just decide to go and get, like, eyelash extensions? Like, your eyelashes are gorgeous. And she was like, thank you so much. I'm actually trying out a new mascara. Don't you know? She goes, follow me on social media and I will make sure you find out like what the mascara is. She has since been like DMing me, linked me to Sephora, was like, here's what I'm using. I hope you enjoy it. It was so nice meeting you. And I was like, it was amazing meeting you. Thank you so much. And I apologize for the typos because I was like fat thumb typing on my phone. And she was like, girl, no problem. She's an actual genuine, beautiful human being who now follows me on Twitter and Instagram. So now I'm just like, oh my gosh. She's amazing. Anyway, Premise of the book. On the southern tip of South America looms an isolated finishing school. Legend has it the land will curse those who settle there, but for Mavi, maybe a bold Buenos Aires native fleeing the military regime that took her mother, it offers an escape and a new life as a young teacher for the daughters of Argentina's elite. She tries to embrace the strangeness of the imposing house despite warnings not to roam at night, threats from an enigmatic young man, and rumors of mysterious others. But someone important is missing, and when students and teachers alike begin to behave as if possessed, the forces haunting this unholy cliff will no longer be ignored. One of these spirits holds a secret that will unravel her existence. In order to survive, she must solve the cosmic mystery and then fight for her life. I think that you guys are going to be hearing a lot about Sarah. I think you're going to be hearing a lot about this book, and I personally am really excited to get to it. 'Tis a chunker, but I am so here for this, like, in the most terrified way possible. And she was like, I hope you're ready for it. And I was like, I'm not ready for it. I know I'm not ready for it, but I'm going to try. This is my stack for October. 10 books for October. Good, good, good. First up is Black Magic. This one is by Danielle Barnes and DJ Kirkland. This is a graphic novel following a magical school that is floating above a lake, and there are white mages and black mages, and this school is the first school for black mages, which I'm assuming is like a dark magic. I don't know yet, but I am excited to get to this one, and it is an October 29th release. Then I have The Family Upstairs. This one is by Lisa Jewell, about a girl who was left a mansion as an inheritance, I believe in the UK, and then she finds out that, like, there was, I think, this, like, crazy murder where, like, she was found crying in a crib when she was 10 months old, and there was, like, 4 other people that were dead around them with, like, these crazy scrawled notes, and then other kids that also went missing the same time. And then she's back here again, and the family upstairs, or the caretakers of the place, are like not to be trusted. We've got to kind of like unravel a little bit of a mystery. Definitely sounds like a psychological, like, crazy situation. Don't know how this one's going to go. Sounds terrifying. Also another 29th release for the month of October. We'll have to see about that one. I have I Hope You Get This Message. This one is by Farah Naz Rishi. Did I get this one signed? I did. Very, very cool. This one is about the end of the world, and what would you do with just a little bit of time. They believe that the earth is going to be ending at a set time frame. I think they have like a week or something, and like, what do you do in that time? What messages do you send? What do you hope to leave behind? Who do you hope to spend those last times with, I believe, is how this works. Own voices characters from a young writer to watch. What if the Earth is a grand experiment and those who generated human life are deciding whether or not to end it, with less than a week to go? Jason Reynolds, Look Both Ways. This one follows, I think, 10 stories about like a block or a community, and it's just like little short stories that go over like what life is like for them when school lets out. I don't know if it's middle grade. I think it might be middle grade. It is middle grade. So 10 to 14-year-olds. This one comes out on the 8th of October and just follows what life is like for them, what their day looks like when they're outside of like the safety of and the known of what their school day looks like. I got mooncakes, guys. I got to meet Wendy and Suzanne at their little signing. Wendy drew a little pigeon. If you guys have been following Book Expo, there was a Book Expo pigeon. There's a Book Expo Twitter account now. Pigeons were kind of the theme for New York in general, but also Book Expo this year. This is a super, super cute, witchy book about love, demons, family, and witchcraft. I'm here for it. Art style is adorable. So this is an ARC copy, full color on some of the pages, and then it goes down to limited color. But I'm really excited to get a finished copy of this if I love the storyline, because even with just like limited color, it's really, really cool. Just says October 2019. I'm not exactly sure when. The Tarnished Stars. This one is by Rosie Thor. This one is about a girl who's kind of like a cyborg. She's got parts that make her up that are not all human. So this is definitely a sci-fi, and her mechanical heart isn't all she's hiding. She is the technician, an outlaw who provides illegal medical technology to the sick and injured. The commissioner's tyrannical law has left her with a warrant on her head, and then the commissioner's son is sent to go prove himself to his father by finding this person who is providing this free healthcare. He finds her. Does he want to turn her in? What's it gonna be? Feels like something I may have read before, but also could be a new take on it. We're gonna say this one is an October 15th release, and I am pretty excited about that one. Also picked up Cristina Lorentz, Twice in a Blue Moon. This one is about a refound love, so like a first love, found again, second chance at love. And I believe that this is about a girl who is the daughter of a famous actor, and then she's outed and her life kind of turns upside down, and then years later she finds herself, I think, working in the industry and then running into this guy again later on, and then we follow them. So excited to see what I think about this one. Also got 10 Blind Dates by Ashley Elson. I have listened to the This Is Our Story by Ashley Elson, and as a Southern thriller, it was interesting, but I did see a lot of the plot points coming. I have The Lying Woods, which is her second book, on Hoopla, and I believe I'm going to be listening to it soon, but this one is more of a romance. So we've got a girl who's just not finding love on her own, so her family decides to set her up on 10 blind dates, and then we follow the story from there. I believe this is also a mistletoe holiday. Yep. Trust your family to make the holidays even more awkward. So we've got like a little Christmassy read here. Then I picked up, because again, I'm a sucker for apparently terrifying myself, Stephen Chbosky's Imaginary Friend. This one is pitched as like a very Stephen King-like situation where this child walks into the woods and then comes out like much later, very changed. And then he's told that he has to go build a treehouse in the woods. And if he doesn't do this, that everybody in the town, his parents, his family, will also then be changed, or something will happen to them. He's hearing voices in his head that only he can hear. I have no idea what this is going to end up being, but it sounds like it could be terrifying. And then a coveted Renee Ahdieh, The Beautiful, which I was able to meet Renee Ahdieh, have her sign my book. I also met Ashley, by the way, and she signed my book. But this is a historical vampires in New Orleans tale. I could be here for going back to vampires, guys. I really, really could. This one is still a YA, I believe. Yep, ages 12 and up. New Orleans is just being run by vampires. She's there on the run from a life that she didn't like in Paris, and we're gonna see what happens. But yeah, vamps again. Vamps are coming around again, and I'm okay with it. Just says October 2019, don't know when exactly. That is all of my October reads. And then we have a couple November and then a couple 2020 reads. So let's go over these. First up for November, Maggie Stiefvater's Call Down the Hawk. I do have the first 8-chapter sampler. This one I'm iffy on. I don't love Maggie Stiefvater's writing. I have read the whole Raven cycle, and the only character I really connected with or really liked the storyline for was Ronan. So this series does follow Ronan, so I'm excited to see what I think of the first 8 chapters, whether or not I want to continue with the series. I don't really trust Maggie's writing, so we're going to wait and see. Also in November, I have The Forgotten Girl, which is a middle grade. This one is a cold winter's night. Iris and her best friend Daniel sneak into the woods to play, and Iris makes a perfect snow angel only to find the crumbling gravestone of a young girl named Avery Moore right beneath her. Seems like it could be a little bit creepy, but I'm here for it. Then we have, oh, and this is by India Hill Brown. Then we have Sarah B. Larson's The Sisters of Shadow and Light. I don't know a ton about this, but it seems pretty cool. Growing up in the Citadel has this giant forest around them, and somebody breaks through finally. But it's basically this sister and her mother have just been living in there, isolated from everybody else until finally somebody breaks in, which is super interesting. This one is for sale on... just says November, so I don't know when. And then I was lucky enough to pick up a copy of Girls of Storm and Shadow by Natasha Nyang. I was also lucky enough to meet her and get this signed, which is phenomenal. I'm really excited about this. I love Girls of Paper and Fire. This is the sequel to that. I'm excited to see where the story takes off. I'm not going to tell you too much about it. This one comes out on the 5th, but this one is a fantasy female-female romance, and I was here for the first book, really excited for the second book. But my favorite November release is Winterwood by Shay Earnshaw. Guys, look at this book. I cannot. It's way shorter than I want it to be because I just want Shay's writing to go on forever and ever and ever. But I'm really excited to finally have my hands on Winterwood. This one will definitely not be waiting till November to be read. This one comes out on November 5th as well. This one is... just be careful of the dark, dark wood, especially the woods surrounding the town of Fur Haven. Some say the woods are magical, cursed even. Rumored to be a witch, only Nora Walker knows the truth. She and the Walker women before her have always shared a special connection with the woods, and it's this special connection that leads Nora to Oliver Huntsman, the same boy who disappeared from the Camp for Wayward Boys weeks ago, and in the middle of the worst snowstorm in years. He should be dead, but here he is alive and left in the woods with no memory of the time he's been missing. But Nora can feel the uneasy shift in the woods at Oliver's presence, and it's not too long after that Nora realizes she has no choice but to unearth the truth behind how the boy she has come to care so deeply about survived his time in the forest, and what led him there in the first place. I'm here for it! And then, because my camera is going to overheat again, I have a couple of 2020 releases that I'm really excited for. First up being Tochi Onobuchi's, I'm going to say his name wrong, but Tochi's novel here. This one is out in January of 2020. I don't know when. It's his adult debut. And this one is Riot Baby, which is rooted in the foundational loss and hope that can live in anger. Riot Baby is a global dystopian narrative and an intimate family story with quietly devastating things to say about love, fury, and the Black American experience. Clearly, I cannot relate to the Black American experience, but love and fury, I'm sure I can. So I'm excited to get this. This one, when you got in line for Tamsin, they were offering up this one. So he was signing with Tamsin. Tamsin wasn't there, so I was able to get this signed, and I am excited to give that one a read. Lastly, for 2020, this is January 7th of 2020. This is A Heart So Fierce and Broken. This one is the sequel to A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Broderick Hemmermer. And this one follows one of our characters in the first book. This one follows Gray, and I'm really, really excited to get to this one. I think the first couple chapters follow the original storyline characters, and then we kind of go off and learn more about a character that I really liked in A Curse So Dark and Lonely. So that is all of my books. It's legitimately so many, but there are some in this that I am just so ridiculously excited about, that I know are going to be like new favorite phenomenal books, like that I am so genuinely excited about these books. I really tried not to bring home something that I wasn't excited for. I'm overwhelmed, overjoyed, so grateful, privileged, and thankful to be able to have these books. I need to find shelf room. I don't know how that's going to work. Stay tuned for something that I'm going to be doing so that I can review these arcs, review these thrillers, and talk to you guys about them. But that has been my BEA and BookCon haul. Stay tuned for the vlog, which will take a lot of time to edit, but will be up sooner than later. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give me a big thumbs up, click subscribe, and I will see all of you in the next one. Bye, guys.